The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
You found The Local Show again right here on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM. You can see us on YouTube as well. Check out those YouTube videos. You can see everything.
And the puppy.
And the puppy and various other things that you can't really touch and hear. Well, you hear it, but anyway.
And the last time the dogs were going up. Did you hear we were recording? There were dogs barking all over the place.
Absolutely, yeah. So tell us about the home of knee repair, not knee replacement, this Victory in Motion.
Well, it's Dr. Petropoli, so orthopedic surgeon that doesn't do as much surgery these days because people can take the stem cells from their behind or whatever they have and put it in their knee,
their very own body,
and grow cartilage. So you don't have to have a knee replacement. Right. And I've known a lot of people that have knee replacements, and sometimes there's problems. And I know someone that nearly died because they had a problem, an embolism from the blood clot. So all that stuff kind of goes away.
Yeah, sure.
And they're helping people all the time. People don't realize they don't have to have a knee replacement. So Dr. Petropoli, give them a call, 685-7544. Just ask the questions. Hey, get a second opinion. They say I need a knee replacement. It's bone on bone. Maybe not. 685-7544, victoryinmotion.com. Tom?
Okay. Mike Servello is with us right now. He's the founding pastor at Redeemer Church. How you doing there?
I'm doing good. It's great to be with you, Tom and Steve, on the local show.
Great to be with you.
Can I just correct you on something really quick, though, Tom?
Go ahead.
I'm not the founding pastor.
Oh, all right.
My father, Mike Servello Sr., is the founding pastor of Redeemer Church. And so I just want to make sure I want to give credit to where credit is due. I don't want to steal.
Sorry, Dad.
Stolen valor, they call that, you know.
He is the big shot, though. He is the power. He's the guy at the top of the food chain.
My people here wanted to give you major credit, so maybe they thought they were ingratiating themselves in some way. So what leads somebody to become a pastor? What was your path? You're not from here. You're from the Herkimer area?
Yep.
Okay, so did you decide, hey, I want to go to college for this? Or
I did actually go to college for it, but really interesting is that I never wanted to be a pastor, even though my father was a pastor. But what happened is that when I was 14 years old, and you got to imagine this, I grew up in church. Like my earliest memories, I could tell you, like, what's your earliest memory? I remember being on my dad's shoulder, like probably 3.5 years old. Like, if I can remember coming out of church. That's the earliest memory that I have.
Good golly. Yeah.
So I went to Sunday school. Our church had a Christian school. I memorized the Bible for assignments, things
so
like that.
So back then, was your father, was it a non-denominational, or was it Lutheran, or was it?
No, a non-denominational church.
I gotcha.
So I grew up in church, and I was very familiar with the Bible, taught it well from great people.
Yeah.
But for the first time in my life, and this, I want people to really understand this, because you can be around the Bible but not in the Bible. I'm not sure if my language would really make sense, but for the first time in my life, I picked up the Bible and read it for myself when I was 14 years old. And part of what led me to do that is what I now know is just the sovereign hand of God drawing me. Was I had this sense in my life of, like, do I have a relationship with God? If I died tonight, where would I go? Right? Those are profound questions. What I want to make sure that you both too all understand is my father, who was a pastor, he wasn't a fear-mongering preacher. There's a lot of fear-mongering preaching about hell,
brimstone, fire,
the rapture.
All that.
My dad was not that type of a guy. It was just this sovereign sense on me, like, if I died, I'm going to stand before a real God, and what would I say, you know? And so I picked up the Bible and began to read it. And when I read it, I had what I could only say is an encounter with Jesus, the real Jesus. And my eyes were open like never before to what he had done for me, by dying for me, by raising for me. And that led to a real forgiveness. I tell people, like, I grew up in church, and this was before the internet. So I wasn't looking at pornography. I wasn't, I never had a girlfriend. I mean, it's hard. I think people think I'm lying, but I never, swear words never even came out of my mouth.
Wow.
You were just a good kid. You're a good kid.
And you were Italian and no swear words. That's amazing to me.
Trust me, I was around some relatives that, we got real interesting.
That's amazing.
But when I really met Jesus, I felt like I took a shower on the inside.
Wow.
There was such peace that came over me. And I can't say that I didn't have peace. It was just Jesus came into my life. Mm-hmm. And when that happened, there also came a call that I said, I want to give my life to ministry. Now, I'm 14 years old at this point. I'm getting pretty good grades in math. I really like math and science. I thought about accounting. I thought about just what I would want to do with these passions in my life. But from that point on, at 14, I started just being in my Bible, I was listening to teaching tapes. I said, I want to give my life whatever it means to be in ministry. So if you're asking me how that happens, it happened with that encounter that I had when I was 14.
Wow.
Right. And do you think that's common or uncommon?
Common in what way?
It's for younger people or for people to be part of it, but then to cross a line of faith, I'll call it that, or something where there's an encounter, where they're around religiosity, they're around the church.
I absolutely do.
Something happens.
I absolutely do, Steve. I actually was just having a conversation with somebody yesterday.
Okay.
And we were talking about this. Christianity is truth.
Right.
I mean, it's truth with a capital T. Right? And I mean that. So there are the truth and the presuppositions of Christianity. And there are people that can fall in love with the presuppositions of Christianity.
Right.
But we got to remember, Christianity is about a person. And the reason I was having a conversation with this gentleman from my church is I was saying, sometimes I see people, they fall in love with the doctrines. And I can't judge them. I can't say whether or not they have a relationship with Jesus. I would never do that. But it makes me a little bit nervous, because when you follow even world religions, there are people that can be catechized by their religions, and they can fall in love with the beauty of, say, Islam or whatever they might think of Buddhism. But there could be something, I think, similar. I'm just talking off the cuff here with Christianity. But we always got to remember that Christianity, it's about a person. It's like, I'm not just talking about something that was taught 2,000 years ago. I'm talking about people can have a real relationship with God through Jesus Christ right now. Mm-hmm. And
it's a hard concept to wrap your head around. I know that people, like you say, they have this epiphany, and they really start to feel it in their heart. There was I'm a person who likes the show South Park for the satire, right? Yeah, I'm a big satire comedy guy. But they do this one thing. There's this one episode where people, the kids, get really concerned about where they're going to go when they die. Mm-hmm. So they explore this through satire and through comedy of people dying and coming. Actually, they all went to hell, and when they were in hell, they said. All these people were naming off the different religions. Well, I was Lutheran, and I was a devout this, and I was a devout that. They go, I thought we were supposed to go to heaven, and they said no, and he said, you were wrong. And he said, well, what was the right thing? And he goes, the correct answer was Mormon. You were supposed to be Mormon. And it was just kind of like poking fun at the whole Mormon thing. But, it does raise questions, though, because that's the way people think. They think, geez, is this religion right? Is that religion? And that's why I think people argue and they war over religion, because whose is right?
Yeah. When I was 19, I decided it was Jesus. And growing up, and I trusted Christ as a kid, but then it just never became real. Really. And at 19, I started reading my Bible, and I'm like, wow. And I grabbed it and I ran with it.
So Redeemer Church, a great place to maybe start if you have these questions. Yeah. And you don't want to rely on a South Park episode. Come and see, Mike over here.
Redeemer Church, located across from Nottingham. High school services are Sunday at 10. Come as you are.
Yes,
and it's very real. So thanks for joining us, Mike.